morning. On behalf of the UNO Alumni Association, I am pleased to offer our congratulations to the class of 2013. Along with the receipt of your diploma today, you'll also take home a new title as you shift from UNO student to UNO alumni. In 1913, 100 years ago, the first graduates formed the foundation of an alumni network that now numbers more than 100,000 strong, doing great things around the world. Welcome to that alumni network. It's now my privilege to present the Alumni Association's highest award, the Citation for Alumni Achievement. Recipients bring honor and glory to UNO based on a record of outstanding career and civic accomplishments. Listen carefully now as I offer this clue. Established in 1949, the citation previously has been presented to 3 U.S. senators, the father-in-law of Warren Buffett, and our current Secretary of Defense, Chuck Hagel. If that sounds a bit like a Jeopardy clue, that's because the citation today is being presented to the award-winning writer and producer of Jeopardy. And the answer, who is Gary Johnson? An Omaha native, Gary earned a bachelor's degree in English from UNO in 1967. He won 9 Emmy Awards during his career as a television writer and producer, including 8 of those with Jeopardy. Gary's connection to network game shows, however, actually began before he left our campus. In February of 1967, Gary and 3 other students represented our university on the NBC game show College Bowl. 3 years later, Gary and his wife, fellow UNO graduate Michelle, moved to California where they landed television writing jobs. In 1970, Gary became a writer for Hollywood Squares, and just 4 years later won the 1974 Emmy for Best Writing for a Game Show. He wrote for and produced several other game shows in the ensuing years, but his longest time was with Jeopardy, which he joined in 1997. He retired as the show's head writer and producer. He was nominated for 20 Emmy Awards with the show, and he won 8 of them, most recently in 2011. Gary today focuses on writing fiction and poetry. His first book of poetry won the Independent Publisher's Silver Medal for Poetry and other awards. Gary traveled from California to Omaha this week to receive yet another honor. For his professional accomplishments, his civic leadership, and loyalty to our university, I am proud to present UNO alumnus Gary Johnson with the 2013 Citation for Alumni Achievement. Welcome home, Gary, and congratulations.
Members of the platform committee, faculty, graduates, families, guests. These last couple of days in Omaha reminded me of something that my freshman counselor here at UNO told me once years ago. He said, "Son, you keep that and it'll be a cold, snowy day in May before you ever win any awards." Now, to be honest, I can't remember exactly what it was I was doing, but I guess I just kept doing it. I was surprised and very honored when I learned that I was going to receive this award. And I was more so surprised when I read the list of the really notable people who have been here before me, the CEOs, admirals, senators, governors, congressmen. But then on closer look, I realized I might be one of the few Democrats on that list. But then I came to the name Chuck Hagel. And you know, this isn't very well known, but I have it on good authority that before Chuck Hagel got that cabinet job, Joe Biden pulled him aside and made him memorize every verse of Happy Days Are Here Again. So, who knows what camp he's really in. But in any case, I stand here today on the same grounds that I stood in 1967. But I want to go back to 4 years before that in high school, when I transferred to Central High, and I found out that I was eligible to take an exam for the Regents Scholarship here at UNO. And at the time, college wasn't really in the cards for me. It wasn't in the picture at all. But I went ahead and I signed up for the test, and then I spent one long Saturday in a huge lecture hall here somewhere with about 1,000 or so other students, all of them teenagers, in total silence. Now, I didn't even think that was possible, but I got used to it because a few weeks later, to my surprise, I learned that I had won a 4-year tuition-free trip to college. And then came my first day here at UNO when I was hit with a 5-hour course called Humanities 101. And it was presided over by the legendary Dr. Ralph Ward, who was the chairman of the English department at the time. And there it was that I met many guest lecturers who were later to become my teachers. And it was also there I met a young graduate teaching assistant who, for reasons of his own, he took me under his wing, and he became something of a personal mentor of mine and a very, very close friend, Blake Lund, and I want to thank him right now. Now, I would also like to mention Dr. Robert Harper, the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, Dr. Cliff Anderberg, the head of the Philosophy Department. But there were so many others too here at UNO, and I consider myself really honored and very lucky to have met and been inspired by such extraordinary people. And it was here, on stage, not this stage, but a different stage, in a production of Spoon River Anthology, that I had the incredible luck of meeting a sensational young actress and a wonderful woman named Michelle Vaughn, and the rest, as they say, is history. Now, after college, I landed a job on the Hollywood Squares writing material for people such as Paul Lynn. There were questions like, Paul, why do Hell's Angels wear leather? Because Shaban wrinkles. The writers for that show were given pretty free rein. And, well, for instance, I wrote that the man who designed the Leaning Tower of Pisa had one leg that was 3 legs shorter than the other, which makes a certain amount of sense. My personal favorite, though, was a true or false question about a 400-pound beginning skier who demolished a small ski lodge in Vail, Colorado. Now, you have to think about that a minute. I made it up, of course, but on the show Jeopardy, it's so careful to make sure that everything is accurate that the research staff there would have spent weeks trying to determine if that story about that skier was actually true or not. But I also had a lot of fun on Jeopardy. I created the category called Cliff's Notes. And you know what I'm talking about. I took James Joyce's 500-page novel, Ulysses, and I managed to whittle that thing down into 16 immortal words. And I'll read them for you. Leopold Bloom gets up, makes breakfast, walks around Dublin all day, goes home, goes to bed. Beat that, Cliff. Yes, I have been very, very lucky. And it's been said many times that you make your luck. And I agree with that. Luck comes when you see an opportunity and you take advantage of it. Now, all those years ago, when I saw that notice for the scholarship exam here at UNO, I said to myself, what the heck, why not? And that day literally changed the rest of my life. So yes, when I grabbed onto that opportunity, when I seized the day, when I took the bull by the horns, and by the way, you can feel free to throw in any cliche you can think of here, but when I did that, it made the rest of my very, very lucky life possible. And I feel very lucky and very, very grateful to be here today. Thank you all very much.
They sure make it difficult for me. Very. Before we proceed to the granting of degrees, I want to